in everything, it just shows that sometimes it's good to put the institutions to test. We can't cow down in the face of injustice. No one is more Nigerian than us. Senator Akpabio is not more of a senator than I am. He's not a governor of this place. And he treated me as if I was his servant, or I was a domestic staff in his house. It's very unfortunate that at this time, after so many years of democracy, we would have a National Assembly be run by such dictatorship. It's totally unacceptable. As for me, I'm glad to be here. And even though we have been illegally suspended, no day have I hesitated in effectively carrying out my duties as a senator of Kogi Central to the very best of my capacity.
What a brave lady. What she did, many Nigerian men cannot do it. Many Nigerian politicians cower in the face of oppression. Instead of fighting for their mandate, instead of fighting for what is theirs, they rather bow to their oppressors, glorifying them with all sorts of praises, despite the fact that they are the ones oppressing them. It does not make any sense at all. Just because of their selfish interests, they prefer to bow to their oppressor. But this lady here, Senator Natasha, refused to bow to anyone, especially Senator Akpabio, who sees himself as an overlord to fellow senators. If you look at her case, you will see that this lady is built differently. This is a lady that was illegally suspended from the Senate despite a court order. The court order is subsisting, so it should be a precedent. The court order says that the Senate has no power to suspend any member, any fellow senator, for upwards of 6 months. But the Nigerian Senate did it anyway, and she challenged it in court and won. The Senate now appealed the judgment. The appeal is still pending, and since the 6-month suspension has lapsed, this lady wanted to resume, but they denied her entry at the National Assembly. Such abuse of power, but she insisted. This time, she was accompanied by a massive crowd at the Senate. They had nothing else to do except to bow to her request. That was why they allowed her entry, unsealed her office, and she has now resumed as a senator. So Nigerians must understand that sometimes, not even sometimes, once their rights are denied, they need to stand up and fight for it immediately. Don't even give them a minute gap. Once you give them that gap, they will start thinking, we are above the law, we can do anything. Nigerians wouldn't even react. No. Nigerians must react and reclaim their rights. If they don't do that, these politicians will continue abusing their powers, trampling on your rights. And it's not as if these rights are not guaranteed by the Constitution. But they do it anyway because they know you will never do anything. If Nigerians resist all the time, all these abuses will stop. That's the way it works. If you are known to be a docile people, then politicians will continue treating you like animals, because people that are docile have actually relinquished their rights. Yes, operators in a democracy are supposed to operate under the rules, but these types don't obey any rules. Even court orders, they don't obey them. So what remains now is for you to make sure you send that message to them. Hey, since you're not obeying a court order, we too, we are not obeying anything, we are taking it by force. That's the only language they will understand. Nigerians must understand this. You don't need to continue feeling that all protests must be mobilized, that someone will lead that protest and mobilize you, maybe pay you, give you money to come out to protest. No. Understand that injustice against one person is injustice to all. If it can happen to a senator, who are you? It can happen to you. It can happen to any Dick and Harry. Yes, that's the reality. So once Nigerians start resisting, politicians will shape up. They will behave themselves because they will make references. We did this one in the past. People resisted massively. We were forced to climb down from our high horse. Are we going to do another one? No, we won't try it. We don't want instability. All these politicians, they are so afraid of instability. They don't like protests. They always like peace. They want to steal the money in peace. Yes, you can enjoy your life in an unpeaceful atmosphere. So once you rise up and protest, they will shy away from whatever they want to do. So Nigerians must unshackle themselves from that docility. They must understand that for their human rights to be respected, for democracy to work and other things to line up the way it's supposed to work, They must keep eternal vigilance. Once you stop caring about all these, how the politicians run their affairs, they will start abusing your rights again. So you don't just say, we have democracy, we have fought the military, now let's go to sleep. Let's even not look into the books to hold the politicians to account, to know how they are spending all these trillions in the budget. No, once you stop caring, things will go bad again. So Nigerians must understand that they are obligated to fight for their rights. You don't just stay idle and say, my rights are guaranteed by the law. No, it's never guaranteed except you fight for it, because someone will always try to abuse your human rights. Are we going to talk about the police? They abuse Nigerians on a daily basis. They assault them for no reason just because they are armed. You are driving on the street, minding your business. A policeman will flag you down. All of a sudden, he will start searching you. He will seize your phone and forcibly transfer money from your account to their account. They do all this because they feel they have the power to intimidate and rob people. It is robbery because you didn't do anything to the person. There was no prior report from their commanders to arrest someone like you. So if he ever does that, steals your money, it is robbery. He was able to do it because he had a gun, he was wearing a Nigerian police uniform. So it is pure robbery. That's the reality. Now, back to Senator Natasha Akpabio. What do you think would have happened if she was the governor of Rivers State and Tinubu tried to forcibly suspend her from office? Do you think she would have gone down without putting up a fight? Absolutely not. She would have fought very hard. Compare that to what is going on right now. Sim Fubara, right from the initial stage, when Tinubu tried to solve the problem between him and Wike, they gave him an agreement to sign. In that agreement, he would have handed over everything in Rivers State to Wike. After he signed that agreement, he claimed that the other party weren't following the agreement, and eventually they forcibly removed him from office. They call it suspension, brought in a sole administrator who ended up spending more than 200 and something billion naira in a space of 6 months. And now, Rivers State Assembly members are saying they will probe the administration to know how he spent more than 200 billion naira. The so-called sole administrator is claiming, you can't probe me. I was carrying out Tinubu's instruction. That means he's directing them to probe Tinubu instead. What is going on here? And on the side of the governor of Rivers State, Sim Fubara, who created the impression during the suspension that he no longer thinks about the government house, that somehow his spirit is no longer there, trying to make it look as if he's no longer interested in being the governor. So what is going on? If you are no longer interested in being the governor, why are you now praising your oppressor, thanking him for restoring peace in Rivers State? Someone that suspended you from office. Even at that time, you said it by yourself that there was peace in Rivers State. No blood was shed, nothing of that happened, but because of politics, they suspended you. Instead of respecting yourself and minding your business, after all, everything is now over. You are now back as the governor. Just continue the works. You are not returning because that's part of the conditions you were given. You are not going to recontest in 2027. After your term is over, you just walk back to your normal life.
I'm here to say thank you, especially for his intervention. We all knew what was happening in Rivers State, the political tension in Rivers State, and if he had not intervened timely, nobody knows what would have happened in the state. And for me, it was saving the situation. I'm here after the lifting of the suspension to appreciate him and also tell him we're ready to hit the ground running.
So the question here is, what can be done to someone before the person will break and say, no, enough is enough, I won't take this any longer. Take your governor and go. I'm not interested, but don't abuse me on top of that. Yes, that's what is going on. Someone removed you from office, despite the outcry from Nigerians. The only thing you could say, because you want to go back as governor, was to tell your supporters to stop clamoring for your return, to stop protesting on your behalf. This doesn't make sense in any way. This is because this shouldn't be about Sim Fubara. It should be about the constitution of Nigeria. It should be about law and order. It should be about the powers of the president. Many things are involved. So Sim Fubara somehow reduced it to a personal level. No. Remember that the National Assembly was involved in this. They were the ones that authorized the budget that the sole administrator utilized under the 6 months. Also, the PDP governors challenged it at the Supreme Court. Up till now, the Supreme Court is yet to call up the case. So the issue here is that Nigerians at any level, whether you feel I'm a friend of Sim Fubara or I'm a PDP member, I'm this and that, it's not my business or anything, You must fight once injustice is involved. That is how to uphold and make sure this democracy continues to work for us. People need to understand this. The fact that the governor you think you are supporting told you to stop protesting on his behalf, it shouldn't end there. Because if it can happen to him, it can happen to any other governor. And we are talking about Rivers State here. No single person owns Rivers State. It is the commonwealth of Rivers people. In conclusion, the fact that Rivers people or Nigerians at large didn't fight this illegal suspension of the governor means that anyone in future, any future president, even Tinubu included, might try to do this in another state in the future. It's already settled that it will happen again because there was no resistance. Action equals reaction. If you don't react in a commensurate manner to an action, that means that action is bound to happen again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.